What if the history that we've been taught is nothing more than a cover story, and buried beneath our feet is evidence of an empire they didn't want us to remember? We call it the Mudflood, a worldwide event in the mid-1800s. Cities weren't just destroyed, they were buried. You can see it everywhere once you start looking. Look at these pictures here. There's clearly something underneath us. There's clearly a world underneath us. That world was called Tartaria. Old maps from the 15 to early 1800s clearly mark a vast empire across Siberia, Mongolia, and Central Asia. Some believe it even stretched worldwide. By the mid-1800s, the name Tartaria disappears from every map, almost overnight. The Tartarian Empire was magnificent, and it's even rumored that they were able to harness free energy. And compared to them, today's modern world looks like the Dark Ages.
Trip, don't be ridiculous. There's nothing buried underneath us.
This is Porto Negro in Germany, where during excavation they found 3 to 4 additional levels buried underneath the ground. This is Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, is the oldest known monolithic site in the world, and was found up to 30 feet below the ground. Basilica de Saint Clement. This church famously sits atop other layers of older structures. A building from the 1st century, a church built on top of that from the 4th century, and the church that stands today from the 12th century. Welcome to Turkey, where they excavated an underground city that could house up to 20,000 people along with their livestock. It's believed to have been constructed around 1200 BCE, so if all this has been buried, what else could have been buried? After the Mudflood event, history gets strange. Suddenly, millions of orphans appeared with no parents, shipped across countries on orphan trains. Where did they come from? Were they the last Tartarians, scattered intentionally so their culture could be systematically erased? Then we get the world fairs of the late 1800s, Chicago, 1893, the so-called White City, enormous domes, columns, and palaces, supposedly built in just months out of plaster. Here's the kicker. That same fair was lit up by Nikola Tesla. No coal plants in Chicago. No grid in place. Tesla drew power from Niagara Falls in Canada and transmitted it wirelessly all the way to the fairgrounds. He literally lit up a city without wires. That's the exact kind of free energy the Tartarians are said to have mastered. Look at star forts, geometric fortresses found on every continent. We're told they were for defense, but they look like massive antennas, part of a global energy grid. Maybe Tesla didn't invent something new. Maybe he just rediscovered what had already existed. And then comes the Great Wall of China. History says it was built to keep Mongols out. But look closely. The battlements face inward. Why would you design a wall to defend in the wrong direction? Maybe it wasn't meant to keep invaders out of China, but to keep China out of Tartaria. So let's put it all together. Tartaria vanishing from the maps, the mudfloods, the star forts, the world fairs, the orphan trains, these sites buried hundreds of feet beneath us, the old architecture just buried and built upon and built upon and built upon. The question here is not if Tartaria existed, but why they don't want us to know about it. Maybe it's because if we can actually verify that our past is a lie, then what does it tell us about our present? Thanks for tuning in, guys. This was the Mudflood in Tartaria. What's next? Tune in. Check it out. And if you could like, comment, subscribe, that'd be great. We're a new channel here at Mind Unlocked, just trying to get our feet off the ground. Come along for the ride.